everyone, this is Cafdil TV. This is an all-new program coming on your screens here on Cafdil TV. This is Religious Vocation Digest. This program seeks to broaden your knowledge about consecrated or religious life. It is also aimed at helping you, a friend or a ward, discern properly before making any decision to enter consecrated or religious life. Let us do this discussion together by joining us on Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast, YouTube, Cafdil Edu. You can also send us your comments on WhatsApp, that is our number on your screen, or through any of our social media handles. And when you go to YouTube, kindly subscribe, click on the bell notification icon so that you get updated anytime we upload new videos. Once again, this is Religious Vocation Digest. With me to do this discussion is on my left, Brother
Emmanuel Efum SVD.
And on my right,
Sister Martha Davis, OLE.
you are most welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister.
Okay. Brother, how many years are you in the religious life?
I've been in religious life for the past 33 years.
Okay. And what have you been doing?
I've been doing information work
Okay.
from there.
Okay. Sister Martha, how many years?
I've been in the religious life for the past 39 years. And I've been a teacher all through. But for the past 5 years, I've been in formation.
Okay. Yeah. Looking at or listening to their years in the religious life, I'm still a novice because I'm yet to be 10 years. Brother, tell us a brief history about your congregation, SVD.
The name of the congregation is Divine Word Missionaries.
Okay.
But sometimes we call it the Society of the Divine Word. And the SVD is a Latin abbreviation. So it's called Societas Vivi Divini. That makes the SVD. Okay. But we are popularly known as Divine Word Missionaries. Divine Word Missionaries. Everywhere we go, that is the name that we carry on. We came to this country in 1938. Started working in Accra diocese, particularly. Even the first bishop of the diocese of Accra is an SVD. Bishop Oliver Bowers, I think he died some few years ago. Okay, so SVDs has been, that time Accra diocese comprises of Kofodua, Donkokrum now. Okay, so all these diocese now was under Accra. So that is what we do. Our congregation started from Germany. Our founder is a German. Okay. And so he spreads the word. We're working in about 70 to 80 countries worldwide. Okay. So we say that the world is our parish. That's how we call it, because we are in most of the places in the world. So we are world, and we are missionaries. Okay, missionaries. Now we have even more people, more Ghanaians working outside than in our own country. Because when you are ordained or you take your final vows, it is Rome who decides where for you to go and work. Okay, so we have more people outside for SVDs, Ghanaian SVDs, than those of us who are in the country.
Okay. Why did your founder choose the name Divine Word for the congregation?
He chose the name Divine Word because we want to express the Word of God to everywhere.
Okay.
And that is one of our main characteristics, that we preach the Word where the Word has not been heard. or insufficiently known. That's why we work in remote areas. Okay, so even now, some of our assistant priests will say, you people say you work in remote areas, so you develop and go ahead. Now you people want to stay in town. Okay, but the people have even moved from the village to the town. So the evangelization is also in town. Okay, so we work mostly in the remote villages. Where people, like Yendi used to be under SVD, Donko Krum is still under SVD, because these are areas that many of us wouldn't like to go, because the situation there is very difficult for our conference who are working there. It's very difficult. Yes.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Martha, let's know about your congregation.
My congregation is OLA, Our Lady of Apostles, Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of Apostles. And we were founded by a Frenchman, an SMA priest called Father Augustin Planck. And it was founded in Lyon in 1876. But the Ola congregation came into Ghana in 1883. And it started with two sisters, one a Swiss, the other an Irish. And the reason for them coming over was to support the SMA priests who were already present in Ghana, but were finding it difficult to penetrate into the mobilization of women and children. So the sisters were founded to be able to help the women and children. And it came at the beginning with what we call primary evangelization, where the sisters entered into homes and did home visitation, and then they had to learn the language to be able to communicate with the women and children. And when they were doing the home visitation, they realized that it was not only that was necessary, they had to even go into education, because the children were there, they were not educated. So they started bringing all of them together, and the whole history began in Ghana, began in Elmina. They gathered people together at what we call the Bridge House, and at the initial stages they had just a few of them coming together, but the sisters were teaching them and enlightening them in this so-called education. Whilst they were there, they realized that sometimes a whole lot of them were sick, so they had to look after the sick as well. So that is how OLA came to embrace health apostolate. From there, other apostolates also developed. We are into so many now. We have the parish work, we have social work, and then we have people going into medicine, we have people going into pharmacy, and others going into even law. And our main target is to help bring about the vulnerable into the limelight, so that they too will feel called and loved by Christ. And the name Our Lady of Apostles was given by our founder to the congregation because he dedicated everything to the Mother of God, making her central in the life of the congregation. And even the spirituality of the congregation is woven around Mary in the midst of the apostles in the upper room or cenacle, praying for the reception of the Holy Spirit to strengthen them. And when it happened, we all know the apostles had the audacity to go out and preach. So that was the vision the founder had for the congregation. And therefore, he gave the motto with Mary, the mother of Jesus, to the congregation, so that everything we do is with Mary, the mother of Jesus, and we always solicit for her help for whatever we are going to do.
Thank you, sister.
Welcome.
Now that we know the profile of our guest, we move straight to the topic or theme for today. Today we are discussing consecrated life. Consecrated life. Who can be a consecrated person? What qualities must the person acquire to be able to be admitted into consecrated life? To begin with, brother, What is consecrated life?
Consecrated life, in responding to their personal call, some men and women joined religious communities in order to consecrate their lives to God as a way of seeking holiness. As a way of seeking holiness. To consecrate something means to set aside or devote it to a holy purpose. That is consecrated. You are set aside. You are devoted. So when a man or a woman decides to accept Christ's invitation to leave everything and follow him in a more radical way, they make vows to live like Jesus in poverty, chastity, and obedience. So they participate in a ceremony in which they make this commitment. Much like a married couple exchanges their vows on their wedding day, they promise Christ that they will live the rest of their lives dedicated exclusively to him. So these vows help them to live simple, to be more open with God, and to depend totally on him. That is what consecrated life is all about. So if you are somebody who cannot be a good person to devote yourself for something, you don't just enter. So it is a vocation that is set apart for particular people. So not everybody can be a consecrated person or religious person. Okay, because to live in this world, that to live poverty, who want to be poor? Everybody want to be rich, and then you say you are profess poverty. Who now everybody want to get even 3 wives. Why do you talk of chastity? Who obeys who? This who want to obey, but we profess obedience. It's because this is our dedication to God, that we want to follow you. So Jesus, we are following Jesus, and Jesus lived poor. Jesus was chaste and he was obedient. So with these 3 vows that you take, so if you are somebody, you know that these things I cannot follow, then you better stay away. Because if you come, you are just going to give trouble to the superiors, the formators, and those things. So that is what consecrated life is all about.
Mr. Martha, anything to add to?
Yes. We all have our first call, which is the baptism, call to be children of God. But with the consecrated life or in the religious life, there is also a second call which is higher than the ordinary baptism, and that one really dedicates her life to the service of God in totality. At the beginning, when you are going in, it's like, will I be able to do it? But I guess the grace of God is always bountiful. He who calls is also the one who gives the strength to pursue the call. So you will be in it, and with little fidelity left and right, before you realize you have grown in it, and it has become part of you. It's a life of dedication, and there is no joke about it. It is God who initiates the call in the person, and then gives you the grace to respond, and then the same grace keeps you going in his service.
So now let's look at the admission. Who qualifies to be a religious? Let's take it from there, sister. Who qualifies to be a religious?
Anybody who is a baptized Catholic qualifies to be a religious, but she should be a practicing Catholic for at least 1 year, and then of course she should be educated, and the basic education is SSS level. But if you have gone to JSS and finished, but you have entered into a vocation skill, you are also accepted. Now, after the SS level, it is required that at least you qualify for tertiary education, so that when you come in and you finish becoming a sister and you want to continue your education, you can easily do so. After that, if you are in the tertiary education and you have your certificate, you can also be picked to become a religious if you feel called by Christ.
Brother.
You follow the same procedure from SS to university, training college, any technical high education, and those who have also done technical skills. All is about also academic. Okay, you need an academic to proceed. Gone are the days where if you're a sister, you are limited to the kitchen. If you are a brother, you are limited to the garden. Now, you don't do the garden work again. You have people do it. The kitchen work will be done by somebody else. You need a higher education. So you need a qualification. And you also have an age limit.
Okay.
Like our congregation have an age limit.
Which is?
You have to be about 30 years. Yeah, above 30 years will be very difficult to be accepted unless your education is higher. Because if you are still educating yourself and you are still 35, you have your PhD or you have your masters, those ones can be accepted.
Yeah.
That's why you call it late vocation. You call it late vocation. But the normal thing will be from 18 to 20 to 30 that you are easily accepted. But above that, you need to have a higher qualification that will prove that it's because you are educating yourself and you are reflecting. That is why you delayed.
Okay.
Not that you are staying in the house doing your own things and then you find out that I'm not getting any work, so let me come and join these people because I know the priests, this is what they do. The brothers, they drive in a car, so the sisters, they are in the big cars and those kind of things. That is not the issue at all. But you need to be educated first. As sister said, you need to be a practicing Catholic and you have to be a good practicing Catholic also.
Sister, do you also have the age limit?
Yes, please.
Okay.
It's within the ages of 18 and 35.
Okay.
Beyond that, it is not acceptable. But then we have late vocations, and cases like that, our generalate in Rome gives permission. That is, if the person already is established in her tertiary education, and maybe she was even in one congregation and wants to change over, with above 35, permission can be given to be received into the group.
Now let's look at formation. Brother, what is formation and what goes into it?
Formation. Formation is something that starts with any consecrated person. Okay. So formation, you start your formation in the priestly side. You start with the philosophy. You start with philosophy, then you do theology, you get ordained. And for a religious consecrated person, you start with your postulancy. Like the brothers, you start with postulancy. Sometimes it's 2 years, sometimes it's 1 year, depending on the constitution of the society that you are joining. And then from there, after this postulancy program, you go into where you call it a novitiate. You become a novice. Like you said already that you are a novice here. A novice means a beginner. Okay, you have to begin religious life. So it is in the novitiate that you begin religious life. Even if you are doing philosophy, you are still not a religious person yet until you enter into novitiate. Then you start your religious life. Then after some of us use only 1 year, you go straight according to the canonical year, 1 year, and it should be full 1 year. Okay, full 1 year. You'll be in the novitiate. And then after that novitiate, you take your first vows, what you call your profess first vows. And then from first vows, our sister said, if you have any education to do, just after the first vows, you can start.
Okay.
Some of us will start education. Maybe you have only an SS that you came with. You need to get some professional work to do. If it's the training college you want to go, if it is the nursing, you want to go to the university, then you start. And you renew your vows every year, the vows that you are taking. For us, we renew it every year. Every year we renew because they have to assess you, whether you fit in, or whether you would like to continue or you would like to discontinue. So every year we do that. And we do that for 6 years. And after 6 years, if your evaluations go well with you, then you apply to take final vows. Actually, some people call it perpetual vows.
Okay.
Then after perpetual vows, then your appointment will come. Are you staying in Ghana or you are staying outside the country? That's why you go and start your mission.
I'll come back to you, brother, for something. But sister,
Yes, sister.
do you have the same formation stages?
Something like that, but it's a bit different.
Okay.
We also begin with the postulancy. And the postulancy is like a come and see on a serious note. You have already entered. So you are still not a fully fledged beginner. You are still looking at things. And our postulancy takes 2 years. You do 1.5 years in your country, and then the remaining 6 months you go outside your country. The English speaking people go to the French speaking to learn French for the 6 months, and then French speaking people also come to the English territory to learn English for 6 months. At the end of the 6th month, you come back to your country of origin and prepare to go to what we call the novitiate. In the novitiate, the situation is a bit different because you are beginning to be a member, but you're not yet a fully fledged member. So it's like you learn about the sisterhood in more details, and that is for 2 years. After the novitiate, well, whilst you are there, you are being evaluated, and you also find out whether you are fitting into the novitiate program. At the end of the novitiate, you apply that if you think you are ready to become a religious sister in the Wula congregation, you apply to be professed. And with your evaluation, the sisters will also agree that, okay, we have seen that you have familiarized yourself with the way our training should be, so we recommend you to go ahead and profess. So after the profession, where you profess for the 3 vows, you are sent to an English speaking country if you are a French sister, or if you are an English sister, you are sent to a French speaking country to continue with the studies of the language. This is for 2 years. Now, if you happen to come in with a profession, then after your first profession, you are asked to remain in the mission territory for 3 years instead of 2. Those who go for 2 years have to come back quickly to continue their education. But for those who are already employed, I mean they are already in a profession, you come after 3 years. Now when you come, after the 3 years or 2 years, you come back to your home province, and then those who have to continue their education, you proceed, and you will be in a temporary vowed state where every year you have to apply to renew your vows. Depending on the situation of your education, you may be allowed to apply for 2 years of renewal of vows. Some renew for 1 year. So every year it happens, and within 6 to 7, 8 years, you are ready to make your final profession. And immediately after final profession, you are sent out again on mission outside your home territory. And that one, you remain on mission until your home province needs you and they call you back. Even when they call you back, the home province will have to make provision for another person in the home province to replace you on the mission territory. It's a strategy to help the congregation by way of numbers. You know, we are in different countries, but we are all not numerically strong. So it has been decided by our General Council that in areas where the numbers are few, outside of your home province, those in the home province are invited or are sent to go and make up for the areas to be strong enough in numbers to be able to serve the Lord in the new territory.
Okay. Let me ask this. At what point do somebody wears the habit in your congregation? For my congregation, when you enter the novitiate, you wear the habit, but without the medal. I don't know if it is same with yours.
In our novitiates, you wear pinafore. We have a dress for you.
Okay.
Brown pinafore with white shirt. And you have a medal.
Okay.
And then you wear the veil.
Okay.
But after profession, that is when you remove the pinafore and put on the white.
Right. Okay. Brother, at what stage in your congregation do someone wear the habit?
Yeah, we also wear the habit when we enter novitiate.
Okay.
Okay. So until you are in the novitiate, you are initiated. You have a ceremony, a whole ceremony for to give you the cassock or the habit for you to wear. It's for only both brothers and then the priest.
Okay.
It's also, you also come to the novitiate before you can get your habits. And then you wear. So you will wear habits. Yeah.
Okay. Brother, in your earlier submission, you mentioned something about evaluation. Let us know the process or on which basis you do the evaluation, so that those carrying us who want to join the religious life will not be scared.
It's what I compare this the formation to be like growing process of a tree or constructing a house, because we are building you up. So at every year you want to see whether you are getting what you are building up for, because in every congregation has a constitution that is guiding the congregations. And so in the novitiate you are taught of the guiding, how you guide the people to live their life as other divine word missionaries in the religious life of our congregation. So every year you'll be evaluated. You're evaluating on what is your growth process.
Okay.
So if you find out that your growth process is not going according to what the society will say, then you ask you to maybe discontinue. Like sister said, that sometimes if somebody has joined another congregation, he can come in and say that, oh, I'm from this congregation. But I looked at it and I found out that no, this congregation, their lifestyle is not what I want.
Not their charism.
Their charism, it's not what I want. So I want to be this person. So I'm moving to do that. So you evaluate you on what we see, the formators see about you and your exposition to the formation that you are getting. So if they find out that you are not the type of person that you can be an SVD, then they will be suggest to you that it seems it's not going well with you with the divine word missionaries. So if you can find another congregation, and then people will gladly move. We don't send people away because we don't like you. It's because you cannot do our work. Okay, because there are some people they don't want to stay in the village.
Yeah.
Okay, and so but our charism is for you to go to the village and prove it. And if you think you want to be in Accra, and I take you to a friend place, you will decide to say no, I don't want to do apostolate. It's like we do during the formation, we do apostolate.
Yes.
We intentionally put people who have stayed in Accra so much. We say, okay, now you go to do your apostolate in a friend place. You go, you get some few bites of this. As one of your worker here is from Afan Plains, he knows what Afan Plains is. Some people even are afraid to cross the river. So he said, oh, if this is how it's going to be, because you don't know whether after final vows or after ordination you will be appointed to Ghana and your superior will say, go and work in Afan Plains. Then you are in trouble. That is why the evaluations, okay, we are not evaluating just to get a place to sack you, but you are evaluating to see your strength in the congregation. Okay, and it's difficult to evaluate human beings. Sometimes you look at it and sometimes you do the wrong evaluation and the person is sent away, and then rather the ones that who are able to cope with the situation. Some people only cope with the situation as they move ahead. Okay, I have a word I said to my novices: if you cannot shape in, then I will shape you out. We need to shape in into our system. So if you cannot shape in, then I shape you out.
But brother, when we go for vocation promotion, there is this one question that parents especially ask, that when we sack the awards or family members, they come home and they are asked what happened. Then they will tell them we did nothing. Mm-hmm. However, we also, the religious, do not explain into details why that person has been sent home. Why? Or if that is not the case, what do you do when you realize that somebody doesn't fit this particular congregation? Therefore, you suggest that the person either joins a new congregation or maybe finds something else to do with his or her life. How do you do it? What process do you go through?
What if somebody decide to go home, or it's two things.
Yes.
Either the person would decide to go, or the congregation would ask him or her to go.
Yeah.
We go with the person to his home.
Okay.
Because we pick the person from home. So what we do is that we go with the person to his family and then discuss the whole situation with the family. This is what you're about. That's what you see with your word. That is why you think you could not continue. But if you say have the desire, maybe you should try another congregation. And nowadays, if you try any congregation and you mention to them that, oh, I was an SVD before came, they will surely contact the SVDs.
Yes.
And I ask what happened. So whatever evaluation you wrote about the person that made to go, then you send you forward the same thing to the next congregation that would do. Okay. So you need to be a human. Please. Don't say go. You leave him at the train station or the transport station. Go home. Exactly. No. Normally, in my case, one time I asked one of his to go. I took him to Nkranza. He was from Nkranza. I took him to Nkranza to meet the father and the mother. And I said, this is what happened. That's why I brought your son. He said, okay. And then he accepted the person. So don't just go. No. That will not be a Christian in the first place, and only religious. You have to treat the person as a human being, first as a Christian. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we do.
Mr. Maka, your evaluation.
The evaluation is actually not a problem, because the one who wants to be a sister has never been a sister before, and therefore she is subjecting herself to training. That is what we mean by formation. So when the person comes, we try to let her know how we become a sister, and it isn't just rules and rules and rules. There are times the person's ideas are also sought, because much as I am asking you to do this, if for some reason you cannot fit into doing that, you should be able to communicate it to me that I have this problem and that problem and that problem. That is why in this case I couldn't do this. I mean, we have a way of discussing issues with them, and we actually accompany them, and they come for what you call accompaniment at least once in a month, whereby if the person is having some other problems which is not making her progress, she shares it. There are times they themselves will even share about the joys they are having in the religious life, and we delve into that accompaniment because it helps us to know the person at least, especially when the person is very open, and there's always a good rapport between whoever is accompanying the person and the one being accompanied, so that it isn't so much we recruit to sack. That is not the issue. The issue is we recruit so that you come in and join us to serve the Lord. Sometimes they go wayward, it is true, but there is a way we have to look at the waywardness and bring them gradually into the fold. It isn't so much of a harsh treatment. It's like your mother forming you in the house. When you misbehave, she brings you back through correction. And it is the same in the religious life. We want to live in peace together because we have one common goal: to serve the living God, who we believe has called all of us to come and live in a community and do a lot of sharing in His name. We all want numbers because the harvest is always rich, but the laborers are few. So when we recruit, our intention is to train those who have come in so that they will become like us, and then we are growing, we will leave, and they will take the mantle, so that the religious life will continue and people of the Lord will be served by the religious. So we do serious accompaniment. We don't leave them hanging about doing nothing. We'll tell you what OLEs do, and then you try to fit yourself into what OLEs do. Sometimes there is gross disobedience and all that, but we have a way of turning them round to be able to see the call of God even in obedience. It is a gentle way of handling human beings who is now in a new sphere of learning to serve the Lord with dedication. You see, so we handle them carefully. But for those who sometimes find themselves in a wrong, like a square peg in a round hole, they exhibit certain things that makes you probe, and later on they themselves will tell you that this one I know I can't fit. So much as we are looking at them, they are also looking at the work to see whether they fit in. So it is a give and a take. It is not one-sided at all, and there should be peace around it if in the end the person in training herself will even have to go. Sometimes when they have to go, we even have to take them through a process of finding out whether she knows what she means by me leaving the thing and going. We don't just tell them to go when they want to go. No, you help them to situate their circumstances in the light of the presence of God, through retreats, through talks. Sometimes we have to even invite somebody on the psychological experience to help them. And by and large, those who sometimes think they don't fit themselves, later on decide that, oh, I'm going the wrong way, rather I think the Lord has called me, now I have decided to stay. So it's a gentle way of helping the young ones to know what it is that God is demanding of them. Not so much to bring them inside them. That is not the aim. The aim is to nurture them, with the result that even if eventually the person has to go, we believe that she has inculcated some values of life in her that she's going to live by when she goes outside the religious life.
So if you're just joining us, this is Cafdil TV, and we are discussing consecrated life on Religious Vocation Digest. Sister Martha, you know about ICF, right?
Oh, yes.
ICF. Good. So since we are discussing consecrated life and then formation, brother, you being the director, what is ICF?
Yes, as you said, Sister Martha is one of our facilitators.
Oh, okay.
She comes there to help us in the spirituality and prayer life.
Okay.
So it means that she knows ICF. She herself told me that she attended ICF. So it's a product of ICF, and now she's a facilitator at ICF.
Okay.
Like myself, I was in ICF in 1992-93. When they were at Brafriam. Okay, so I was also a student.
Okay.
And now I'm a, as we say, what did they call me?
Vice Chancellor.
I'm a Vice Chancellor of the Institute. The ICF is, the full name is Institute for Continuing Formation.
Okay.
Because formation does not end with our final vows or our ordination. So the major superiors of men and women of Ghana decided to have an institute to help for ongoing formation. That is why the institute is there. So it's under the auspices of the major superiors of Ghana, both men and women.
Okay.
And it started in 1992 at Brafriam. And then they were using the Holy Cross. They have a house there, their institute. We were using that one before the major superiors built their own at Elmina, place is called Peace Avenue, just behind Archbishop Quarters.
Okay.
So that is where we are. And so we do formation programs, ongoing formation programs.
Okay.
We train formators, those who want to be formators, or those who are in formation. They come for on reawakening. Okay. At present, we have people who want to be spiritual directors. They are having a course there now.
Okay.
And we train those we call those in temporal vows. We have a 3-month program for them so that they can prepare before they take their final vows. We have sabbatical program, those who are worn out. We don't want you to burn out before you come. So we prepare people to see that we are on sabbatical. Those who have a renewal programs. If you are tired here at your place here, come there, you renew you, and then you come back. Don't stay too long to become burn out, and your superiors will not know what to do with you. So that is the provision for people on ongoing formation. So it's for all priests and religious, including the assistants.
Okay.
We had assistants there also who come for renewal, and they love it when they come. The place is very, we said we call the place a space for growth, a sacred place for growth. So when you come, you will surely grow, and it's for all priests and religious. They come. So if you know people who want to go on sabbatical, they should not look outside. They should look here in Ghana.
There is one closer to them.
This place is closer to them than going outside. And if you don't take time, they will get the same input as they go outside.
Yes.
And we have one person who came from Sierra Leone. He's there now. He went to Zambia for formation program, and he came to, and he tells me, brother, this program was there and we didn't know, and I just went to Zambia, and I said that is why somebody has suggested that you come here. So you used to also go tell them that I experienced a very lovely place here, a very spiritual experience, very spiritual experience here. We do a lot of programs. Only for now we don't accept lay people.
I was coming to ask.
We don't accept lay people for now. Okay. But eventually, maybe now even we are trying to affiliate it to Catholic University.
Okay.
They have come to do their research. They have, or they are just waiting for the go ahead, and then you'll be affiliated to. So you'll be affiliated to the religious studies part of their university. That's what is in process. We're almost finishing.
So you actually give out certificates?
Yeah, you actually give out certificates.
Okay.
Every program you do, so you do give us certificates of participation. But now you want to go a bit higher. So that when you have that certificate and you want to continue somewhere, you can use that certificate to continue. So academically, it will be recognized. But the institute gives a certificate of participation to every program that we do. Okay.
Mr. Martha, please, can you detail us about the course you teach at ICF?
Okay. I had a problem, and I had been in the school system for 14 continuous years.
Okay.
So later on, my provincial leader thought that our formation in Ghana, we didn't have enough personnel. So she wanted me to come over to it. And I thought leaving the school and entering into formation straight like that would be disastrous, because in the school system we have a limited time, 3 years. Secondary school system, 3 years that you have to complete. So if you come, there is no joking. If you joke, we discipline you to be serious. So that time the harshness was there, and I felt if I went into formations, I will kill people's children. And formation is a process, and a very slow one for that matter, and you have to have a lot of patience for that. So I felt I couldn't fit in there, so I begged to go back to formation. I had done formation from 1998 to 2000 in Jos in Nigeria already. But when I came back, my religious leaders felt the need for me rather to go to school, because there was a vacancy somewhere and they felt it was important I filled that vacancy. So I went into school. I didn't do formation at all. So it was after 14 years they wanted me to come back, and I felt no, I needed a second formation course, because religious life within 14 years had changed greatly, and I couldn't come in with my old ideas 14 years ago and enter into it. So I begged them, and I think they saw reason and asked me to go back into formation. So I did the modern formation, if you like, in ICF for 1 year. That was how it happened that I had to go there. And I enjoyed it to the fullest, because I was able to get myself abreast with time and how religious life was supposed to be lived, and help others also to live it after 14 years. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very well.
So how has been your experience being a formator for these years?
Oh, for me, it's a good job, and it's good you help people to be built up in the formation to become sisters. Since I'm a sister, that's what I will talk about. And you see yourself progressing in the area of numerical strength as far as the congregation or the province is concerned. And it is not easy helping to shape somebody to become a sister, because the person is coming from, let me use the word, excuse me, the world, and she's now entering into a new milieu of life with a new culture altogether. And the human person takes time to be reformed. But we do the work, it is true, but in the end, the chief formator is God himself. But we are just, as formators, being used as instruments, because God is a spirit, he does not come down in person. but he works through people to allow his will to be done in the new ones who are coming to become his dedicated service or servants. It hasn't been easy, because sometimes you are seriously wanting something to be done, and you are thinking you have taught the person how to respond to do those things, and when the time comes, the person is on a different plane altogether. And sometimes when you are even bringing her back, she doesn't even say why you are worried about bringing her back. But it all boils down to patience. You have to exercise patience for the person, because we are all coming from different backgrounds. You have to develop patience and have time for the person to take it easy and walk instead of maybe running, or take it easy for the person to crawl before she walk and run. It takes a good dose of patience. And in the end, we thank God who gives the support, because it is the grace of God who is doing the whole thing. And by and large, at the end of the formation, you can see those you have trained really bearing fruits. And it is a joy to see them, being touched by God to move along with what the congregation is looking for in them. That's what I can say. But it is not easy. It is difficult. We pray for them. We pray for them, and they also pray for themselves. But in the end, it is God who forms.
Brother, let's do some challenges. What are some of the challenges in formation on the part of the formator and also the formatee?
Yeah, we have a lot of challenges in terms of the formator, okay, to the formee, some of the challenges that this modern formation we are having is the talk of dialogue. The talk of dialogue. When you are in formation, you need to, in our old formation, you will say, you go here, and then you are gone. But this time, go here, why? Okay. And you tell them, I've prayed about it. They also say they have also prayed about it, that they are not supposed to go. It's a very big challenge. Now there, even among those people who are doing spiritual direction now, there's one, the superior called me because I do counseling also there, spiritual direction and accompaniment, as Sister mentioned, I do there. So I called her and I asked, this is what your superior said. They are asking you to go here. You say that you cannot go here. Where do you want to go? Who should go? Who should go? So I talked with her yesterday, and then I called the superior. I've made her to understand that it is not everything that they have to follow what she is saying. You should also follow the superiors. Okay. She told me that she will give me a reply maybe today. I said, you better give me a better response. Okay, because that is what you are. You are religious. You belong to a congregation. You have an obedience to follow. Okay, it's not a matter of I want to do my will. We are all doing God's will, and the superior, through the superior, that is where God's will is manifested. You can do go around and say, okay, so and so, I'm sick. So you are sick. You are staying in the house. For how long will you stay in the house? Actually, she wouldn't even give me a proper answer. So then I knew that she's only being stubborn. See, the stubbornness of some that makes the formation very difficult. If you have people who are very stubborn, they want you to do their will all the time, not even God's will. They are doing their own God's will, and that is some of the challenges it comes up in the formation. So if you are well formed and you are exposed to formation, you'll be able to guide. Sister use that word. You're able to guide them to do that. It is not like that. Now formation, and we also formators also should know that it is a dialogue also. Listen to the person. Maybe what the person is saying, there's some sense in it. You don't have the whole sense to dictate to novice the formations. No, you also have to listen to them. Maybe they have a genuine case, but some of us also are very stubborn. Maybe the formators ourselves also. We don't want to listen to them because I'm the guru. Okay, I'm in charge. I will take a decision upon you at the close of the year. I'm the one who is going to recommend you. So if I ask you to do something and you will not do it, it means that you cannot be. You also need to discern the spirit. Okay, that will help us. But you have a lot of challenges. And it's difficult for me as a formator. One of the challenges I have is you have to do everything like them. They ring the vocal prayer, you have to be there. They ring a bell for dining, you have to be there. So you don't have even your peace, your freedom. Like if I am a professed member, no, you are in town, you are watching your time. 5 o'clock is time for evening prayer. Have to be there. It's as if when you are not there, they cannot pray. Do pray, but you have to be an example. You have to be an example. That is the difficulty. That is why many of you people, maybe if they ask you to go into formation, but you start to run away. All the excuses in the world, you give it to your superior. And those of us who are sober enough to say, let me try, let me go and try. And then you are trying. One sister is now that they say maybe you are trying. You will be there for 10 years and still you are trying. You will still be there. So that is the challenge we have. The challenge, you have a lot of challenges with the young ones that are coming. They want sharp. No patience for them. And so if you also don't have patience, as is mentioned, then what you do is that as if they don't respect. But this is their time. You have to shape them into the system. You have to let them understand what religious life is all about. For poverty there now, don't talk about even poverty. We don't want to hear the word poverty. As I told them, the difficult one of the vows now for me is obedience.
Yes.
Because I'm now my provincial now was my novice. And he comes to tell me, Iman, you are going to ICF. Me going to ICF to do what? I want to stay where I am. I'm very comfortable here. He says it's not a matter of being comfortable. Then I started giving him excuses, okay? And I'm on this medication. Will Cape Coast be able to if I go to buy this medicine in Cape Coast, will I get it? Then start to give excuses. So, I'm old. So try to consider, I want to stay in Accra. Accra is closer to Kolebu. It's closer to 37. I'll mention all the big hospitals. And still, he said, but you have to go. So I came. Okay, that's the difficulty. It's very difficult. There's a lot of challenges in the formation and even outside formation. As I'm with these ones here in the ICF, they are all out. They are no more information. Okay, and and they are from different congregations. If I look at them, I sometimes think that their superiors are suffering. Proper. Some of them, I said, their superiors are suffering. And the spirit, what can you do? You also have to listen to them. So these are some of the challenges that we have. It's a big challenge of not trying to listen to what we are supposed to do. Listen. Because they want their way. Now the young ones want their way. Just like that. They also want their way.
Formator.
For me, it's the level of openness with the young ones' information. Some of them feel when you ask them to be open, it means you are infringing on their freedom. So they decide to close in. And that one, you can beat the dead horse and If she has decided she will not be open concerning some issue, she will not be open. And when it happens like that, it is as if you are stuck in your plans for formation, and some of them can be very closed in, and they wouldn't even mind if they are going to be asked to leave because of that.
Okay.
There are some like that. They don't mind. If I'm going away, let me go away. Whatever I have, let me carry. And they go like that. And it's very difficult to break into them when it comes to their openness being at a standstill. And they even see you who are trying to coax them to open up as a cross. You are infringing on their rights. But I think in religious life there's nothing like rights. We serve with dedication. We don't have rights. You sell your rights to do what you like. And it is all part of the obedience, part of the poverty, but part of the chastity. I mean, chastity is broadly love. So you love at all angles. You don't choose to love some and leave some. And you don't choose to love certain things they will tell you to do and hate. It's a whole dedication of life to service. And when it happens like that, it is very difficult. You will try and try and try, and you will not reach anywhere. In that case, you pray all right, but it's like the person has already taken a decision not to open up. So the consequences follow to your disadvantage, And then sometimes some of them, they want to go, They don't like the work. They want to go, but they cannot go. They feel when they go like that, they will be disgraced. So they will not go. Now, people like that, when they decide that they cannot go, they want to go, but they cannot go. My God, these people can torture you no end. Everybody will be moving towards the northern direction, and they alone will take the south. And when you try to bring them in to join those going to the north, trouble. You are disturbing them. They want to be free, and you are hemming them in. But they are just waiting for you to tell them to go. But you too, you feel it is a sacred work, and you don't have to let them go like that. Give them chance. But they abuse the chance and misbehave. And normally when they behave like that at the first stage, in the second stage of formation in the novitiate, when they see that they are entering into the seriousness of the religious life, then they come in with all kinds of terrible reasons why they cannot remain anymore. And then when you eventually bring them, they come out and you try to question them, but why couldn't you go on? And even in the first stage, I saw that you were trying. Then they will tell you, trying. I wanted you to tell me to go, and you didn't tell me to go. So from the onset, I didn't want it. I said, but you didn't communicate it. You say, I wanted to give it a try also at the same time. The person is living a double standard life. And you are a human being. You cannot break the brain and know what is there. It is what you see that you give witness to. And it is very difficult. Very, very difficult. Dealing with human beings is not easy. But at least when the person is living on her own and is trying to make life on her own, okay, that one, the person is making her own life. But where you are guiding, and the person is also on a different platform altogether, it is very difficult. But in all that, I would say prayer. When you pray and ask God to come in, He intervenes at the right time. Another challenge is when you have to ask somebody to go, knowing very well that the person cannot make it. Sometimes you weep yourself. It's not easy, and there is pain attached to having to ask somebody to go. It is not always easy. But sometimes the outsiders look at it as if you are joyful that somebody is going. It is not always like that. Sometimes there's pain in your heart for losing that person in the religious life. And most of the time when it comes like that, you see that the person has a lot of qualities in her, and it pains you that the person has to go with it, you know. But there are some people who genuinely, for some reason, they cannot continue. And the challenges for the Formator, some of them come in with this idea that when I come, I must be liked by the Formator. But the Formator is supposed to remain free. She's to remain neutral. And they are not there to be liked. No. So you do all that you can to let the person learn how to become a sister. In the end, you, the Formator, are branded as not liking her because maybe you have to be correcting her, and maybe in the house she's a queen, she's not corrected by the parents, you know. So when they come and you try to correct, you become a target. And sometimes you have to live with this situation throughout your life, because if the person is able to scale through and comes out, she tags you as the one who didn't like me when I was in training. And if you don't take care, there will not be a good rapport ever between you and the person, even though you, the Formator, you were doing your genuine work. So there's a lot of frustration in there. But my joy is that we know that we are not there to be liked by them. We are there to dedicate ourselves to the service of God and help them to be trained, irrespective of the kind of feeling we have towards them. It is not easy. Sometimes too, we run out of patience. We are human beings. We are not gods. We are not angels. Sometimes we run out of patience, and certain things don't augur well when we behave like that. But at least we thank God that at times we sit back, reflect over what we ourselves are doing, and then the grace of God helps us to reshape ourselves also to be able to meet the young ones and go back to patience. It is not easy. It is not easy.
Yeah, it has never been easy. Now let us weigh your generation of religious men and women, and maybe my generation of religious men and women. What would you say about the two?
In our generation, what I observe is that is you do before you complain. Your superior asks you to do this, you just go ahead and do it. Nowadays, the young ones will say that is blind obedience. Okay, you have to ask some few questions before you do it. But we have to do it, and then go and report back that this is what you asked me to do. I finished. Whether it is good, whether it is bad, I've done it because you asked me to do. But now, the why questions are too many. Why wouldn't I do this for you? Why? But our generation, because the Spirit has spoken,
That is it.
that is it. You have to do it. They say move, you move. They say stay, you stay. Okay, that is the only. Other than that, our constitution has not changed. Okay, it's only the attitude of the people that we are getting. Okay, because when you were there, we never had what do you call it, phones to do anything. But this time, even you ask them, in our novitiate, we don't use phones there. We ask them not to bring phones, they will bring and go and hide the phones. Even in the novitiate, in God's house. They are asking you not to bring, you brought. sad to say, I asked somebody to leave because he brought phone. Okay, he brought phone, and he was getting all kinds of information that even I don't have. So one Easter, somebody, I think Palm Sunday, he came to table and he started joking that what about we are carrying palm branches and you say you are filled with the branches. What about those who drink the wine himself? It was a joke on social media. So he came and shared. But as I was sitting there, I said, this boy, to say this means that he has a phone. He has seen something. So I called him and I said, do you have a phone? He said, no, the phone I have is what I brought to you. I have his phone. One. I said, no, maybe I have one of your phones. We have other phone. Hey, my brother, let's go to your room. I want to set your bag. He said, when I went, there was a phone. For me, it's not the phone. That's why I asked him to discontinue, because he was not honest.
Yes.
He was not honest. Because we give this phone to them every month. Once a month we give them, so that they can communicate to their, on one Sunday, every last Sunday of the month, they can communicate to their friends, their family members. They can hear all. So we collect it after complaint. We say, so they name me after complaint. After complaint, just after complaint, I want to the one their prefect will collect all their phone and bring it to me. I put it till next month. You see the problem we are now facing. Even somebody who is going to be a priest, who is going to be a religious, he cannot obey simple instructions. At that time, for us, since the superior said, we will not even send the phone. We will not even send the phone to the house. Therefore, to give it to somebody to keep. Some people even they bring their chip, So maybe the cook or the worker there, you go and put it in the worker's phone. So you go be searching for phones you cannot find. He has a chip. You insert it into somebody's phone. One of my novices inserted his phone to the one of our laborers' phone, and in the meantime I was traveling to Accra, and I've called the worker in the morning to give him some information before I leave, because I left at about 5:30 and they come home they come to work at 8. And unfortunately for him, that day when he came, he went for the guy's phone and used his chip and his SIM. And when then there was a missed call on the phone, so it reflected on his SIM. So he wanted to call the boy to call who called me. And then I picked the phone and I said, who's talking? Then I heard a voice. Then I lowered small. Who are you? He started talking about how I'm at the novitiate of the SVDs. I said, very good. And so what is your mission now? You call me. Oh, then it's a missed call. I'm sorry, it's a missed call. I said, very good, missed call. Thank you very much. And I put it on the phone. So when I came in the evening, I called him. Did you call me? He said, no, I didn't call you. I said, you called me. I have the phone. You called me. Then I showed him his number on the phone. I said, see your number on my phone. At this time you called this number. Then he broke into tears. He said, baby. I said, may God touch my heart and leave you alone. I think last year I was ordained a priest.
Thanks be to God.
Thanks be to God.
Because this is a life you're going to live for the rest of your life. So if at the initial stages you cannot obey simple instructions, Sister Martha, you see, if at that age or at that stage of your formation you cannot obey simple instructions, I don't think you can grow to become any better. Sister Martha, let's hear from you. Weighing the two generations, what would you say?
Somehow I would say the level of dedication has went down now. It isn't like what it was before. It has become a bit shallow, a bit. Majority are trying, I know, but generally speaking, the level of dedication has come down. And like this idea of promoting myself, has become the order of the day, and community living is gradually seeming not to make sense. For instance, the community may be going somewhere, we are traveling, and when we are traveling, on the way we drink water and all kinds of things. So at least we will drink water. The young ones will all take a bottle of water for themselves, and the senior ones will be looking for what do you call it? This one that the children put their food in.
Flask.
What do you call it? The
lunch bag.
Lunch bag. To pack a whole lot of drinks inside so that
For
on the
everybody.
way people can drink. So it just happened in one instance that the superior got up very early. They were to travel that day. She got up very early, and the leader took this ice bag, put a lot of what do you call it, bottles of water inside, and closed it, and quickly dashed to put it in the bus for traveling. Then later on, when the young ones got ready, everybody was holding a bottle. Then she just made them stop at the door of the car and asked them, "You have brought bottles for yourselves. What about the elderly sisters who are traveling with you? They don't have bottles. What kind of water are they going to drink?" They stood and looked at her. And then later on, they decided, okay, let's go back and pack some and bring. Then she told them, "Don't worry, enter the car." And when they entered the car, they saw this ice bag full of drinks. Then the leader decided to use that to teach them that when you are traveling like that, you think of the community first, not yourself first. Or even if it didn't strike you, go and ask the leader or the elderly ones, what are we going with? What are we traveling with? Are we cooking, or do we just take water? And then you'll be responsible to ensure that all these things are ready before we start the journey. So next time, I expect you to behave like that, so that the promotion of me is very high in the young ones, rather than the we community aspect, considering the community aspect. And then their level of initiative is also low. Everything you have to tell them. At least in our houses, when our mothers cook soup and there's cassava and plantain on fire, straight away we are going to pound the soup. So you run and go and clean the mortar and the pestle, put some water in the basin beside it. You don't wait for them to come and do it. That is initiative. But when they come to religious life, their level of initiative is very, very low. They want to be told to do everything. But sometimes you have to also use your mind to get things going. Because the older ones are easily forgetting things. So does it mean that if they don't prompt you, that thing supposed to be done will not be done? These are some of the few things I have to share.
Thank you very much. Sister Martha, before we go, any information for those out there?
Well, if your sister or your brother tells you she wants to be a religious, we'll first of all expect you to encourage them to give it a try. Because the feeling to be a religious is not their making. It is God who initiates that feeling in them before they even start talking about it. So I encourage them to come, because we need more people to join us to serve the Lord in a special way, so that the work of God will be best as possible. And then when they are coming, try and advise them to come and stay. It isn't just trying it and then in the middle of it we give up. No, when they are coming, we must make their minds certain that I have come to stay because I want to serve the Lord to the finish. And that idea will be very much welcome. And don't tell them, don't go there. Don't tell them, don't go there. Give them the encouragement to come and try. And some of them have a lot of goodness in them that when they come into the religious life, they will be able to exhibit and serve the Lord in those areas. So please try and encourage them to come and join us to serve the Lord. Because religious people have done so much work to help the lay faithful. And so we need more hands for the work to be done and done more fully. So don't discourage them, because you don't know what God has in stock for them in their religious life, so that they'll be able to help your generation after generation. Thank you.
Brother, your message for those out there.
Those out there, I would say that religious life is a life that one can find happiness and joy. There are a lot of challenges in, yes, but there's even more joy than challenges. I will encourage people to tell their wards to join the religious life. Because people will say that if I tell him to join, it means that the vocation is not from him, it is for the person. But we tell our wards to be doctors, to be this, to go to this place, to be this place. It is also the same thing. We encourage them. So I will continue to say that they should try to encourage their wards to join the religious life, because we need everybody wants to go to a priest or a religious to get some advice or suggestion, and yet they don't want their children to come. Whose child should come? Whose child should come? So encourage your wards to come and join us, so that you can build a better world. So I encourage people to come and join us, because as Sister said from the beginning, the harvest is rich, but the harvest are few. There are so many places they need religious, but where to find them? Now our religious communities are getting empty gradually. They're empty. You go to Sister Convent, you have only one novice sitting there. Only one novice. A whole congregation, they have only one novice. And look at the population in Ghana, and then you only have only one novice. What will you do with that? All because people are not promoting vocation. So we should also not leave the vocation promotion for only the vocation promoters. Okay. It is for everybody, from the family to the members of each community. From our family, we also have to promote vocation. So the vocation promotion is not for only the vocation director. It is for everybody.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, sister.
So this is Cafdil TV, as you know already. And I said in the beginning that this is an all-new program on your screens, religious vocation promotion. And today we discussed consecrated or religious life, the formation stages and what goes with it. It is now time to sign out, but before, I would like to appreciate the Friars Valley Drinking Water for providing us with something to quench our thirst. If you want to buy from them or purchase any from them, they are located at Afrengwa Junction at Salt Pond. You can contact them on 0550 492316. 0550 492316. You can call the Friars. This water is produced under strict hygienic environment. It is also FDA approved. It is done, packaged everything by the Franciscan Friars. So you can pick the number, call them, and then do business with them. I would also like to appreciate Brother Ima, SVD, and Sister Martha, OLA, for accepting our invitation to come and share this rich knowledge with me and with you at home or wherever you are watching from. We are very much grateful to you, Sister Martha and then Brother Ima. On behalf of Cafdil TV and our cherished viewers, we'd like to appreciate you so much and hope that you come again for more discussions. To you, our cherished viewers, if there is any question bothering you about religious or consecrated life, don't hesitate to send them to us through our WhatsApp number. It is on your screen. And then any of our social media handles: Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast; YouTube, Cafdil Edu. On YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell notification icon so that anytime we upload new videos, you will be updated, or you will receive a notification that we are live. This is Cafdil TV, Religious Vocation Digest. We meet next week.